Good morning, and thank you for joining us on After GMS, a little something we do on Facebook Live and our YouTube channel on WFMY News 2. We are excited to be with you for what is another hot day in the Triad.
Really hot day, especially when you factor in the heat index. Ed, we're talking upwards of 100.
That is certainly a possibility, but,
Ooh.
and this is a big but.
Okay, we'll
The
hear it.
clouds are thick out there this morning, and we may see some rain before the afternoon. Some areas along the Virginia border are already seeing some light rain. Now, if you want to temporarily bust a heat wave, let it be cloudy and bring in rain, and that will certainly do it. I'm not going to make any changes to the forecast at the moment. We'll stick with mid and upper 90s, but look at all this rain shower activity that extends all the way up through central and western Virginia. Nothing severe here. We did have some thunderstorms over West Virginia. They have weakened as they have passed south of the Roanoke area. Join me on WFMY News 2 at noon for a full update. I'm going to see how this plays out this morning. It could move through, and then we could get more sunshine in the afternoon and still make it into the mid and upper 90s. But I will certainly have a full update coming up at noon. If I have to do it, I am going to slash those hot temperatures for the afternoon. Not a guarantee, but certainly a possibility. Now, our computer models haven't caught on to any rain-cooled atmosphere yet. Still forecasting temperatures into the mid and upper 90s, near 100 around Raleigh and Charlotte. But again, the clouds and some rain showers could have a rather significant impact on things this afternoon. We'll continue with the heat advisories for our part of the Piedmont. A heat advisory for the Metro Triad area. You go over to, around Alamance County into Chatham, Lee, Moore, and Montgomery counties, an excessive heat warning. If the sun pops back out this afternoon and we make it into those mid and upper 90s, some of those areas could have heat indexes, or what it feels like, well into the upper 90s. Now, at the moment, it is hot, high pressure at the surface and in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That is bringing the heat wave to our part of the Piedmont. But here's what's going to happen towards the weekend. That thing's going to throw it in reverse and move back to the west. That's a good thing for our part of the Piedmont because it takes the real hot temperatures and takes them back over the plain states. And by the weekend, you can see we'll have a more definitive northwesterly surface wind and also in the upper levels of the atmosphere. If this plays out, we are going to see a real cool down by Saturday and Sunday. I'm looking at a beautiful weekend right now, sun and clouds, and by Saturday and Sunday, how about temperatures into the low and mid 80s? That's sweater weather, isn't it? Nah, but compared to what we've been dealing with, it will certainly be rather refreshing. And again, that air will be a lot drier, so it will feel good as well. Again, sticking with mid and upper 90s, we'll see how any clouds and rain play things out as we go through midday and early afternoon. But I'll have a full update today at noon. 97 today, mid 90s tomorrow. A few showers and storms, only about a 20 to 30% chance today and tomorrow. We'll bump it up to a 40% chance coming up on Thursday. And then fast forward to the weekend. Oh, I wish we could. But certainly I'm doing it in the 7-day where Saturday and Sunday will be beautiful. Less humid. And how about those low and mid 80s? Bring it on.
And stay.
And stay. Yes.
Please. Okay, so popsicles, splash pads, water slides, slip and slides at the McCain house.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
All things we're thinking about today as we look for ways to beat the heat this week.
So we want to know, how do you stay cool? Go ahead and jot a response here in our chat, and we'll go over some of the responses we got earlier on the Good Morning Show. So we heard from Jess right away. She said, I stay cool by staying inside. It's too hot out there. Exactly. I'm rating it just as you said it. I know I am. Another viewer says, I'm sensitive to heat, so I stay inside as much as I can. When I do go out, I keep cold water in my travel cup, and I have a neck fan. Yes. I saw those recently. A friend had one.
Really?
Yes. So you literally put it on your neck, almost like it's like
Necklace.
Exactly. And it just has like little holes around it so that you can feel the air around your neck, which is one of the places that apparently will keep you cooler longer if your neck is cool. I just have the good old, portable fan that just kind of spins around. And I was at the park the other day and all the moms were like, oh my gosh, like, you're so smart. And I'm like, they come in every color. Yeah, it was hot outside yesterday at the park. We were only out there for like 30 minutes and we were all like drenched. And we were there, we left at 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
We did not stay out there long.
Yeah, good idea, because the heat advisories we've been talking about kick in at noon. And so the afternoon and through the early evening, they run until 8 p.m. That's the hottest time of the day.
See,
so you are so smart.
Science always backs up what Mom says.
That's right. Mom knows best.
Mom said, let's go inside. Why?
I can't say the same for my computer models. I'm not so sure that they always know the best, but Mom knows best.
I love it.
I mean, sometimes it's a little too hot to even swim, honestly, because by the time you get to the pool, you try to keep the kids covered up, lathered up in sunscreen, replenished in sunscreen. It's just too hot and honestly not worth it in my opinion. So we try to stay inside when it's this warm outside. And although my son does love the occasional sprinkler, he calls it the happy birthday hose because we have this little nozzle that looks like a birthday cake, and it sprays out water in all different directions. So I let him run through that yesterday, but had to keep a big hat on him. The sun is so intense already.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, ladies, since you have kids, do you think kids even really notice hot weather at a young age?
Well,
I mean,
I told you about
they identify
Josiah
with it
earlier. He was like, Mom, I think we set a record in Greensboro.
So they do identify with that.
He
I mean,
does.
they identify with the heat and the need that they need to get somewhere where it's cooler.
Yeah. I mean, he
Cool.
does. And he recognized it in the car when he said that. And when I noticed that he took a nap when we got home, I was like, oh, he hasn't taken a nap in years. So
Kind
I
of
was
zaps
like,
the energy the heat does. Yeah.
Yeah, my 2.5-year-old he loves to do everything himself. It's like, me, I do it. So, he has to open the front door, by himself. And then he goes, oh, hot, Mama, hot. Because it was hot to the touch.
Right.
So everything is too warm right now.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You gotta be careful of that. I was checking the playground equipment to make sure it wasn't too hot before the kids went down the slides or on the swing sets. Even like the chains that they have that hold the swing sets up, those can be hot sometimes. So you gotta kind of put your hands on everything. And then of course Simone's like, why are you touching everything? You're not supposed to touch everything. Germs, Mom, germs. And I'm like, if I could spray this thing down, I would.
Don't feel bad, because before I walked Rio, I was leaning down and touching the pavement.
Right, because of the little
And it was hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so hot I could not keep my hand on it. And I said, baby, we ain't going to be walking on the asphalt. So remember those pets in the heat, and especially don't walk them on very hot asphalt or pavement. It will burn their paws.
So do you carry her to when she does
I
her
can put her in the grass.
Oh, okay.
It's like the grass. Usually there's grass not far away, but to get from point A to point B, we have to go through an asphalt area. So she did get a little ride in my arms.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about pets. I mean, obviously you can't keep them inside 24/7. They have to go potty, but make sure there's some ample shade. You have a water bowl outside that you replenish frequently. It's too hot for animals too.
Yeah, we've been talking about leaving them in hot cars, which you're never supposed to do.
Oh, never, ever.
Pets or children. But some helpful tips that we have on our website to kind of help you remind yourself that you're not alone in your car. Although kids and dogs always make noise, unless they're sleeping.
Unless they're
sleeping. Yeah. So I mean, there are other ways to kind of figure it out. On my car, I have an alert. So if I get out of my car and I've opened the back seat and then I've opened the front seat and then I've gotten out of the front seat, my car will sound to make sure that I then go to the back seat to check. And it's usually like a backpack or something like that, but it can be a child.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I stay cool in the air conditioning. I think that is the best way to stay cool. I very much limited my time outdoors yesterday when I was driving in my vehicle. Just got the air conditioner fixed recently. It wasn't working. It was blowing out hot air. I couldn't stand that.
Yeah.
So keeping cool everywhere I go. But I think the air conditioning helps. And also I love to go swimming in a pool as well. I don't have a pool where I live, but my mommy's got one down in Sanford, and she lets me swim in it as long as I clean it out, you know, keep it clean, keep the leaves out and things like that.
That's a good deal,
That's my reward, is to be able to go swimming. How refreshing.
Although she's probably going to make you do it anyway.
Oh, yeah, she is.
And you would do it
You
anyway.
would
I
do
would,
it.
yeah.
All right, we're getting some great responses. Joanne said this 90-year-old is staying inside her lovely home with the air conditioner. She
Good
considers
idea.
herself very blessed. Yes, not everyone has access to air conditioning, which is why we also want to check on our elderly neighbors,
Right.
make sure that they have what they need when temperatures are this drastic. Sean said, I'm not staying cool. It's freezing out there. If you want to cool off, just go outside here. He says he's staying inside with the heater on 24/7. Keep in mind, Sean lives in Australia and it's winter there right now.
Yeah.
It
So,
sure is.
He's not making a joke, he's being serious. Based on geography, Joe said at work lots of water and her neck fan, and she prays that she makes it through this A-OK. Bobby stays in the air conditioning as much as possible and drinks plenty of water and Powerade. Let's see, several great ideas. Francine said activities outside early, keeping busy inside with reading, crafting, and housework.
Yeah, and even some activities early should be avoided. Like I saw some folks working out at the park yesterday, and I was feeling it for them.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine, and they were like drenched, and they ended up stopping because it's just too hot.
Yeah. Well, they think it's therapeutic to sweat, and I guess it is. It cleans the pores and all that. But
you
still,
pass out.
until you pass out, and then it's way too late. You know how much I like to ride my bike?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen
No,
in
it's
this kind of hot weather. And I don't even think about it.
Right.
If I ride, it's early in the morning on my days off, not before I come to work. But any outdoor activity that puts stress on your body and combine that with the heat is very dangerous, and you normally don't realize that you're having heat stress or maybe even leading to a heat stroke until it's too late. You've already gotten too hot and your body is moving in that direction.
So Tracy brought up a good idea here. Tracy Moore on our feed.
Oh,
she said,
I did.
yeah, she said her landlord sent emails to keep the thermostat above 69. I guess because it's working too hard right now. She said no need to do that here. She does it already, but it did remind her to check her air conditioning filter. We've heard from
Good
some
idea.
AC technicians about them being so backlogged because of the supply shortage. So if you need some work done, you're probably going to have to wait.
Yeah. By the way, everyone named Tracy that I know is incredibly smart. Just saying.
You continue the trend.
Well, Tracy Moore is one of my star Tracys.
There you go. All right.
Just saying.
Bobby
Thanks
said
for making us look good, Trace.
And then Bobby said his lab loves to lay on the tile floor. It feels good to him.
My dog does that. It's cooler.
Yeah, I remember
feels
our
good.
golden retriever growing up. She would lay on the air conditioning vents in the summer. She hated summer. It was so awful
yeah.
for a dog with a heavy coat. But wintertime, oh my gosh, it was like heaven.
Yeah.
She would run around for hours outside.
Our neighbors have a lab, and the lab got a haircut the other day and ran out, and we're like, who's this dog? Hardly
The
recognize
puppy
him.
cuts.
It was like completely night and day. It's like, oh, this is a summer cut. I'm like, looking good. But I didn't even recognize him.
Aw.
All right, so this was a great conversation. Of course, we'll be
Yeah.
talking about the heat all week, but we do want you to use this time to make sure that you have a plan in place in case something goes out. You need to get some repairs done, have somewhere to go. We have that information on our website too, places where you can cool off and kind of just regather yourself.
We also have some reminders here in our local headlines, so let's go ahead and get to those. Yeah, your air conditioning will be put to the test this week. If it breaks, as we mentioned, it could take a bit longer to get fixed than it did before. An AC service technician said he's seeing months-long delays due to the supply chain. Air conditioning companies recommend you check your system now before it gets even hotter this summer. Law enforcement agencies urge you never leave children in the car under any circumstance. Winston-Salem fire officials say the temperature inside a car can jump 20 degrees in just a matter of minutes. So with today's temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, officials say a parked car can get 120 degrees or hotter in just 10 minutes. The fire department says it has responded to 44 calls of children locked in cars so far this year.
Well, today is Flag Day, June 14th. Goodwill Northwest, North Carolina is hosting a flag retirement ceremony today. 31 flags from Goodwill donations will be retired today. And that event also includes a demonstration on how to properly prepare a flag for retirement. It starts today at noon at 442 West 27th Street in Winston-Salem, across from the Goodwill location. A leadership program in Greensboro saw a growing need for positive role models among young boys and formed the Black Suit Initiative. WFMY News 2's Denise McMillan has more on their efforts and how they're shaping the lives of children.
Black Suit Initiative is all about serving Greensboro, and they are doing it by turning young men in Greensboro into right now leaders through mentorship and community engagement.
We just have to make sure everything is sorted so we're giving the right suit back to the right young man.
To get a black suit from Ivana Ross, it must be earned. By reaching leadership milestones through her community engagement program, Ross turned a co-ed group called the Chosen 50 into the Black Suit Initiative in 2016. The program took on a new fashion when Ross saw crime rising and felt black males needed positive role models.
We did surveys within some of the communities, and we talked to over 60 young men, asking them to share who their role models were in the community. 88% could not tell us a good role model, and so we really started saying, okay, we really need to find some people and engage these young men with other men in the community.
Through Black Suit Initiative, young men in middle and high school are taught to become right now leaders. 14-year-old Kiyosagi is one of them.
It's definitely helped me grow from what I was, or who I was like 3 years ago. It's helped me with leadership skills. I'm doing Taekwondo, and I recently became an instructor.
He says before the program, he didn't have many male role models in his life.
Even on day one, the brotherhood, that was probably one of the things that I really like about it.
Outside of mentorship, the young men give back to the community by volunteering. They also spend time with business owners to learn new skills. This year, they're becoming right now entrepreneurs through a Shark Tank style business competition.
Well, what do you want to do? And a lot of them would say, oh, I want to own my own business. Well, what kind of business do you want to own? I don't know. I want to own my own business. So this was really just forcing them to really think about how they could use their interests to create their own small businesses.
Our business is called Brothers Brownies, where we're doing a sweet potato brownie business.
Tavares Nichols now mentors young men like Key since graduating from the program.
Being the leaders, we have to have those leaders, especially with this day and age, because with everything going on, we have to have those people that are willing to stand up and say, hey, things got to change.
And although BSI is a nonprofit, the young men who take part in this program don't have to pay for any expenses. BSI is currently accepting applications for 6th through 8th graders. The deadline to apply is July 8th. You can find out more information about the program on our website at WFMYnews2.com.
Okay, I want to show you the radar one more time. Look at all this generally light rain, no severe weather here moving in from Virginia. This is leftovers from thunderstorms that moved through West Virginia over the past 2 or 3 hours. This could, I'm not going to jump on the boat yet for much cooler conditions this afternoon, but this could really impact high temperatures this afternoon. Rain and also lots of clouds. Now, another scenario would be that all this moves through and the sun pops out this afternoon and we still make it into the mid and upper 90s. So we can be hopeful that this will have a somewhat positive cooling effect on our part of the Piedmont with the clouds and rain showers. I'll keep an eye on that and make a full decision Coming up on WFMY News 2 at noon, I may be able to slash those hot temperatures, but we'll stick with the mid and upper 90s for now. And mid 90s tomorrow and Thursday. Some showers and a few thunderstorms. Not a lot of activity today. We'll keep that low chance tomorrow. A little better chance on Thursday. Mid 90s. The heat wave will be with us. If we get a little temporary cooling today, the heat's going to be right back in full force. The heat index will be back up above 100 tomorrow and near 100 on Thursday. But things are going to shape up and get straightened out in Piedmont weather by the weekend as that hot weather moves back out over the Plain States. And that means cooler and less humid, drier air for Saturday and Sunday. Can you tell in my voice that I'm a little bit excited? Yeah, I'm excited about low and mid 80s and less humid conditions. I think we'll be deserving of that by the weekend.
That's a kind of staircase that I like.
Yeah, it's going
Descending.
down. Those bars are going down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, relief today only if all the stars and the sun align and the clouds continue
and
to
the clouds continue and some rain.
Right.
If you want to bust hot temperatures for the afternoon, the clouds and rain will do it. Again, not changing the forecast at the moment, but I may be able to do that at noon, so stay tuned.
It makes a difference when that sun's not beating down on you, in addition to these hot temperatures. That weather garden found, by the way, looks so refreshing right
You know, sometimes I take a swim in that, but it's not big enough. No.
I think the birds like it.
The birds love it. The squirrels come up, drink water as well. I've even seen a raccoon out there, believe it or not.
Well, you be safe.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you here tomorrow on After GMS. Thanks for watching today. Have a great one.